Hey everyone, it's Michael from Notefolds, and today I've got a card using the sets that you see right in front of you now, the Cookie Cutter Halloween, the Spooky Fun, and the Cookie Cutter Builder Punch. And these are all coming from the new holiday catalog that's going to be available on September 1st. I'm just kind of giving you a preview here. If you need a catalog, make sure to let me know about it. I'll make sure you get one. And once the order period does start, which is on September 1st, you can head over to my website, notefolds.stampinup.net, and order any of these items. I'll have the item numbers in the description below. And here is the card that we're going to be making today. You can see just how great that turned out. It's a really nice fall scene, not necessarily Halloween, but as you can see, you could really make it anything you want with this set. So let's go ahead and get started. To make this card, for the base we'll need an 8.5 by 5.5 inch piece of Wisteria Wonder. For our tree we'll need a 4 1/4 by 3 inch piece of Cajun Craze. For our fence we'll need a 4 1/4 by 3 inch piece of Old Olive. The moon will be a 2 by 2 piece of Daffodil Delight. Our pumpkins will be a 2 by 2 piece of Pumpkin Pie, appropriately. The Scarecrow will be a 3 by 2 piece of Crumb Cake. The stamps that we'll be using are the Scarecrow from the Cookie Cutter Halloween set, and the moon and pumpkins from the Spooky Fun set. The inks we'll be using, for our moon we're going to use Daffodil Delight, for our pumpkins we'll use Pumpkin Pie, and the Scarecrow will be Crumb Cake. The dies and punches that we'll be using, the Cookie Cutter Builder, the Halloween Scenes Edgelits will be using the tree, the fence, and the pumpkins. And finally, we'll be using a 1.5 inch circle for the moon. You can always fussy cut that if you like. We'll begin by stamping our images. So here I have the Crumb Cake and our Scarecrow stamp, and I've got that in the Crumb Cake ink. So we'll just get that nice and inked up. And since we will be punching this out, it's okay if it's not perfectly centered. That looks good. Next up, we've got the pumpkins in the Pumpkin Pie on the Pumpkin Pie paper. And again, we'll be using the die Big Shot, so we don't need to worry about that being perfectly centered. Finally, we're going to do the moon in the Daffodil Delight on the Daffodil Delight. The next thing we'll need to do is punch these images out. So you know how to run dies through Big Shot, but I did want to show you with this builder punch here, the best way to do it is actually to turn it over so it's facing you. And that way you can put your piece of paper in and make sure that you get it perfectly lined up. It also helps when you are squeezing it. You have a bit more leverage when you have it turned over like this. So once you've got it lined up, you just squeeze. And you do see that it makes a lot of other stuff because of the other images there. But the important piece is our Scarecrow is nice and punched out. So again, run these two through your Big Shot. And here are our 3 items punched out. So we can actually put these to the side now. And we're going to bring in our Old Olive and Cajun Craze. And what we're going to do is run the edgelets through the Big Shot now. And you want to just kind of line that up close to the top, not all the way, but you can see it's going to run edge to edge there. And then I'll show you with the tree as well. Again, we're going to put it up to the top. And here is that tree and fence after it's gone through the Big Shot with the edgelets, and you can see that just makes a really nice edge there. And we are going to overlap those. So what we're going to do, just put those to the side. We'll bring in our card base now, and I've already folded it in half at the standard 4 1/4 inch. So we've got that set up. Now what we're going to start with is our tree, and I've already put snail adhesive on the back. You can also do some two-way glue maybe here on the branches since those are kind of delicate. Now what we need to make sure to do is that these two things are going to overlap. So we need to put this low enough so that the fence will cover the Cajun, but not too low, otherwise it'll get kind of lost. So what you can do is just kind of put this to the side and just see where that's going to just barely overlap, and I think that looks pretty good right there. So we'll go ahead and mount that onto our card base. Just press that down. Looks good. And now for a fence, again, I've already put the snail adhesive on the back, and we're going to line up the lower corners and edges. And you can see that's just going to nicely overlap our tree there. That looks great. Okay, so now to put the other elements on, we've got our moon, and I've already put some dimensionals on the back. So just remove the adhesive backing there. And we'll just kind of line this up however best you think. I think we'll Kind of put it over here like that. Looks good. Now we've got our Scarecrow. Again, dimensionals on the back of him. And we're going to just place him on the left side over here. Kind of just hanging out. The last thing we need to do is add our pumpkins. And again, dimensionals on that. Just adds a nice layer and depth to that. And we'll kind of set those up a little bit higher behind him, just kind of there on the hill. So there we go, there's our completed card. I think this turned out really good, and there's so much more that you could do with this. Obviously you want to put a sentiment on the inside, but you know, you could do some distressing just right underneath this to kind of make it look like it has a shadow, something like that. Well, I hope you enjoyed making this card with me. If you did make it, let me know about it in the comments below. If you need to order any of these items, I've listed out the item numbers in the description. And remember, this catalog will be available September 1st. If you need a copy of it, just let me know. And you can visit our website, which is notefolds.stampinup.net, to order any of the items you saw here. And make sure you hit subscribe because we'll have a lot more from the new holiday catalog coming soon. Till next time, we'll see you later.